All right, welcome to the Explainer. Ever thought that hosting a website on something like Amazon Web Services is this massive, super technical challenge? Well, stick around because we're about to show you how one student got it done in about an hour. And yeah, how you can too.
So take a look at this. This is a slick, professional, fully working website. Now, what if I told you that you could get something just like this up and running in about an hour? Seriously, it sounds kind of crazy, but it's totally doable.
And to prove it, we're going to follow the journey of a student named Saqib, who did exactly that. He documented his whole process, and we get to see everything: his wins, the little roadblocks he hit, and exactly how he pulled it all off.
Okay, so first things first. You can't have a website without a home for it, right? So for Saqib and for us, that journey starts by creating what's called an S3 bucket.
So what in the world is an S3 bucket? Honestly, the easiest way to picture it is just a folder. That's it. But instead of living on your computer, this folder is out there in the AWS cloud. It's basically the box where you're going to store every single piece of your website, every image, all the code, the whole shebang.
And you know what? Setting one up is super quick. For Saqib, this whole step took like 2 or 3 minutes, tops. He picked a region close by for speed, which is a good tip, but here's the really important part you got to remember. The name you pick has to be globally unique. I mean, no one else on the entire planet can have the same S3 bucket name. No pressure, right?
And boom, here's the proof. This is what Saqib saw in his AWS console right after. You see that green check? That means his bucket is officially born and ready for action. Step 1, done.
All right, so we've got our empty folder in the cloud. What's next? Well, we've got to fill it with the actual website, right? Let's get into it.
So a website isn't just one single file, you know? It's a bunch of them all working together. For Saqib's project, it boils down to 2 key parts. First up, you've got your index.html file. This is like the skeleton of the site. It holds all the text and the basic structure. And then there's the assets folder. This is where the magic happens. It's got the CSS, which handles all the styling, the colors, the fonts, and the JavaScript, which makes it all interactive and cool.
And check this out. This is what it looks like after the upload. You can see Saqib's files just sitting there, nice and cozy, inside the S3 bucket. The foundation's built, the materials are there. Now it's time to open the doors.
Okay, this brings us to the moment of truth. The files are uploaded, but right now nobody on the internet can see them. So Section 3 is all about flipping that on switch and going public. But as Saqib found out, it's not always a straight shot.
Getting AWS to host the site is actually pretty easy. I mean, the steps are right here. Like Saqib shows, you just pop over to your bucket's properties, find the section for static website hosting, click Edit, and hit Enable. Seems almost too easy, doesn't it?
And this, right here, this is the screen where that magic is supposed to happen. See that Enable button? That's basically you telling AWS, hey, this isn't just a storage locker anymore. Start treating it like a real website people can actually visit. So, the files are uploaded. The hosting is enabled. AWS even gives him a special link to his new site. The big question is, when he clicks it, does it actually work?
And the answer is a big fat no. Not yet anyway. Instead of that awesome website, he gets smacked with this, a 403 forbidden error, access denied. Now, this is a super common roadblock, and trust me, it's a real head-scratcher if you don't know what's going on.
But hey, every problem has a solution, right? Which brings us to Section 4, the public access fix. Let's break down exactly why that error appeared and, more importantly, how Saqib fixed it.
So the whole problem was this classic permissions mix-up. Think of it like this. When Saqib enabled hosting, he basically unlocked the front door to his house. The bucket itself was open to the public. But, and this is the key, by default, every single room inside the house was still locked. Each individual file was still private. So people could walk up to the front door, but they couldn't actually get in to see anything. Makes sense, right?
So how do you unlock all those rooms? The fix Saqib used was to change the permissions on each file one by one. He used something called access control lists, or ACLs, which are basically just permission toggles for each file, and he set everything inside to be public. And you know what? That one simple change made all the difference. He made the files public, hit refresh on his browser, and bam, success. The scary 403 error was gone, and there it was, the awesome, fully working website he'd been aiming for. What a great feeling.
But hold on, getting the site live is just one part of the job. Let's hop into our final section, because Saqib took one more super important step to protect all that hard work. And that's where something called a bucket policy comes into play. So if there's ACLs we just talked about are like simple on-off switches, a bucket policy is more like a super detailed security manual. It gives you crazy specific control over who can do what with your files, who can read them, who can edit them, and probably most importantly, who can delete them. And why does this matter? Well, let's hear it straight from Saqib. He said he did it so his work isn't at risk of being deleted by anyone with a bit of AWS knowledge. And that's smart. It's about making sure one wrong click doesn't just erase your entire project. Now, this might look like another error, but trust me, in this case, this error is a huge win. To make sure his policy was working, Saqib actually tried to delete his own main web page. And what happened? AWS shut him down. It threw up this failed to delete message. That access denied means his security setup worked exactly like it was supposed to. And really, this quote from Saqib just wraps it all up perfectly. He said, "It was most rewarding to see the final product working like it should, from the actual website to the error when I tried deleting the file." That's awesome. It shows he didn't just build something, he understood how to protect it too.
So, there you have it. We've gone step by step through the whole process, creating a place for the files, launching the site, hitting a common snag and fixing it, and then locking it all down. And the whole thing took about an hour. It just goes to show you don't have to be some kind of tech wizard. You just need to follow the steps. So, that leaves just one question. What are you going to build next?